Hello, today I'm going to tell you about being a drum keeper. Long before I was a sound healer, I kept drums. Drums arrived in my life, and I learned through the people that I worked with, through the First Nations and Native Americans that I worked with, that there are particular ways that you keep drums, especially when they just appear. So I have one Taos Pueblo grandfather drum and 4 hand drums. One of them you've seen many times and I'll play in a few minutes, and the other 3, which you see 2 of them right now on the wall and the third one's above it, are smaller hand drums that I made in workshops for my sons. I have 3 sons and therefore 3 hand drums. So we keep drums because drums are a combination of the plant world. And in the case of the Taos drum, it's not just pieces of wood, it's actually a trunk that has been sacrificed, probably of dead wood, cottonwood, but nonetheless, a trunk that is being used as the structure for the drum. And of course, the membrane over it, which comes from the skin of an animal. In the case of the Taos Pueblo drum, and in the case of my hand drum, my personal hand drum, that's elk skin. And then with most of the other ones, it's deer skin. So we honor the sacrifices of those animals and of the plant as we play the drum and as we keep the drums and as we respect the drum. So you don't put it on the floor, you don't leave it outside, you don't disrespect it as an instrument. And you can believe that the spirits of the animal reside in the drum. I tend to believe that the drum has its own spirit, its own energy, which is drawn from the sacrifices made to create it, but also just in the creation itself comes its own energy, as well as in the performance of music from it. And I have found that some of my drums can be very testy. If they get put on the ground, if they get played wrong, if I'm in a workshop and they're banged in a disrespectful manner, then they can go out of tune very easily. And it takes quite some doing to get them back into tune. It's not just it needs to be a little wetter, it needs to be a little drier. They need to be smudged, they need to be talked to, they need to be sung to, they need to be played, they need to be taken outside. Sometimes they need to be taken out under the stars. You have to really pay attention when you are a drum keeper. You have to use your intuition to try and understand what it is that the drum needs at that particular moment. And what you get in return is a connection, of course, to the heartbeat of nature, to the heartbeat of Mother Earth. And that in itself is a wonderful and healing thing. So again, drums are very powerful medicine, and this is no exception. So if this is too much for you, please stop the music or mute it at least, so it doesn't affect you badly. But for most of you, it'll be very beneficial. Now this is a Mark Barfoot 16-inch hand drum. He is still making the hand drums, so if you want one of these beautiful, remarkable instruments, DM me, or you can find him on Facebook at Barfoot, Barefoot. He is a really, really remarkable craftsman. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you another day. Bye-bye.